It's fall, it's time to plant a cover crop. Last year was my first year planting cover crop in the garden, and I had heard mixed reviews beforehand. Do it, it totally helps your soil. Don't do it, it's more of a pain to get out of raised beds than it is to actually put it in. Well, I've seen the benefits of cover cropping in my pastures, and I wanted to see last year if it really worked in my raised beds, and it did. The noticeable difference is incredible. Tilth is better, my yields were higher, and it just prevented all of that erosion during the spring rains, especially because my garden is on a hillside. So we're gonna do it again today. This is a 25-pound mix I have here. I will link to where I got it in the show notes. I've got winter peas, I've got wheat, triticale, daikon radish. Daikon radish is amazing for opening compacted soils. I've got some hairy vetch, forage collards, Persian clover, balanza clover, and yellow mustard. All of these give different things to the soil. All right, this is my mix here. And I have a small bed here ready. Now, I've cleared all of the brassicas that were in here and have expired. And by that, I mean you can still see them in the soil. I've just pushed back the top layer of dirt. If there was something in here that I could overseed into, I would, but there's not. So I'm gonna do just a scatter method by hand of my cover crop, and then we're gonna cover it back up. I am not picky about seed density. I wasn't last year. It worked out fine. After I cover this up, I am gonna need to go back and top this with a mulching straw just to make sure everything stays in place. But I don't have any right now. All right, so I'm just very gently gonna push the dirt over. I don't wanna disrupt soil structure if I don't have to, so we're just very gently doing this on the very top layer, and that is it. So typically you want to sow your cover crop seeds about 4 weeks before your first state of frost. I'm a little bit late, but better late than never. This is ideal timing so that you can let the roots of your cover crop actually establish and really get going so that they're less affected by that first frost. Though these will stay steady all winter long here in my neck of the woods, which is central New Jersey, zone 6B, border on 7. All right, so what's the point of a cover crop? A cover crop, as the name implies, keeps your soil covered, which is gonna prevent nutrient loss through erosion and through solarization, which is where the sun basically cooks it out. So when we keep it covered, we're retaining all of the nutrients, all of the minerals, and protecting our soil food web. But the other reason that we want to do a cover crop is because it doesn't just protect loss in the soil, it actually adds. So what we're harvesting isn't a physical, tangible crop that we're gonna eat. We're harvesting nutrients by way of the plants depositing nutrients into the soil. So clovers, for example, they fix a lot of nitrogen. Nitrogen is obviously a very important one for not only leaves, but also fruit production. So when we use cover crops, we're actually using a natural material to feed our soil rather than relying on synthetics or compost. Compost is great, it's just that plants soak up nutrients. They soak up their vitamins and minerals through liquid, not a solid. And so when we add physical compost, it's a solid. We have to wait for it to make its nutrients water soluble so the plant can actually soak it up. So when we have these plants fixing nutrients for us, they're sinking it into the soil and they're making it more readily available for the plants to have come spring. The other thing is that when we go to take out the cover crop, we actually just chop it and drop it, or you can take it out and give it to an animal, for example. You're creating more organic matter. So when that plant is chopped and dropped and just laid on top of the bed to decay, we're creating more soil. It's gonna decay, it's gonna not only return nutrients to the soil from the decayed matter, but also the nutrients it all pulled and sunk into the soil while it was alive. Sorry if I lost you. Having guineas around is a real challenge when it comes to planting cover crop seed or young seed starts. So what I do is after mulching, after sowing, I put hardware cloth or deer panels over the top. That way they're not inclined to go after it. They don't dig, they can't get in there, they leave it alone. Because a lot of my spaces are still in production, I actually only did about 7 beds today, but I will keep adding to this as I clear out. I hope this has been helpful. Drop your questions in the comments. Thanks for watching.